Hey Tribe, welcome to Breathe Adventures of the Soul AT Talk. So today we will be talking about the permits that you will need when you journey through the AT from Springer Mountain to Appalachian Maine, or from start to finish. So there are 3 permits that you will need as you go through the Appalachian Trail. So there's not just one permit that will take you through the whole entire park. There are 3. 1 is the Smoky National Park, 2 is Shenandoah National Park, and the last one is Baxter State Park, which is the final destination. So let's get started with Smoky Mountain National Park, which borders North Carolina and Tennessee. And the cost of this permit is $40 as of March 1st, 2023. So for this permit, you're going to need to know your rough entry date. And so they have what's called, their definition of a through hiker is you are starting 50 miles before their park and ending 50 miles after their park. You will need to get a permit. Permits are valid for 38 days from the date issued, so that'll give you 8 days to kind of go through the park. And you will need a paper copy of your permit. Do not depend on finding like a computer or a copy machine on the trail. So you may want to go ahead and get that prior to leaving and printing it out. This is the only place on the trail where you must stay in a shelter unless it's full. If it's full, you can stay right outside of, for the through hikers, you can stay close to the shelters. And section hikers have first dibs on shelters. So that's to be noted. And you need to purchase and apply. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the link for you to apply for this permit in the description below. So that is Smoky Mountain National Park. So the second park is Shenandoah National Park. And this park used to be a free to go through, but now there is a fee. There you have to get this permit 90 days in advance of entering the park. The permits are not available inside of the park. So let me explain this. There is a $9 per person fee and there's a $6 reservation fee. So if the permit was for one, it would be $9 plus the $6, which would be $15. If the permit were for 2 people, it would be $9, which is the $18, plus the $6 for the group, which would give you $24. So that's just an example of how that works. They are saying that you can now get online permits. So I'm going to actually put the information in the description. And so if you could get online permits, then you can screenshot your permit, and that way you will not have to carry the paper around. Or if you're just old school and still want to you want to have a tangible piece of paper, I will be linking that information in the description for the Shenandoahs. And I don't know if I mentioned, but there's a long list of do's and don'ts as you go through the Shenandoah National Park. So just make note of that. The last one we're going to talk about is the final destination, which is Baxter State Park. This particular permit you have to get this permit in person at Cotton Stream Campgrounds Ranger Station. So please make note of that. You have to get it in person, but the great part about it is it's free. So you get it for the free, but it needs to be gotten in person. And you must have your permit. Under all circumstances, you must have your permit because you may be stopped by a ranger. So we want to make sure that we have what we need, no exceptions. And the permit may be obtained up to 7 days in advance of summiting Mount Katat. So I hope I was clear about these 3 different permits that you will need from Smoky Mountain, Shenandoahs, also known as the Shunnies, and Baxter State Park. The one thing is I know there are people that watch that have already done the AT through hike. If there's information that you have, because I know there are some things that someone who hasn't done the actual through hike wouldn't know. So please share those things down in the comments so we know exactly what we need. Thank you all so much for joining me for this AT talk. And I plan on doing these once a month, just talking about basic information that you need on the AT or Love and Hike.